Welcome back to the broadcast. This is round 13 of the Blitz here in Leuven, Belgium, where we shall switch to the camera of the playing hall and see whether Kramnik and Topalov shake hands. This is always, of course, the question of the day.
Well, the answer is obvious too. They won't. They haven't been the best of friends ever since their match in 2006, was it? I believe 2006. So it's been a decade. And their relations seem to have softened a little bit, but not enough for a handshake. The rules are if one player would insist on the handshake, then he could make the other forced to shake his hand, or he would get a forfeit. But those two seem to be in mutual agreement that neither is going to demand it and neither is going to offer it. Therefore, we're not going to get a handshake, but what we do tend to get between those two are very fighting games. Normally, whoever is white has dominated that matchup. Of course, situation is a little different with Blitz and with the fatigue that has accumulated. We've heard Vladimir Kramnik talk about the other day that he tends to start well, then blunder all his pieces. Currently, he's doing okay. He's made a couple draws, won a couple games, hasn't had any accidents happen for a while. Well, Vasilin Topalov started off rather well, but has been in a bit of a downward spiral. I think he scored like half out of 4 out of his last 4 games. So good time to get his groove back with black against his old enemy, Vladimir Kramnik.
What do you think about their outfits? We see a floral print shirt on Vasilin Topalov and these are not the indigo jeans, are they?
I don't know. I'm not into flowers on shirts. I'm not quite sure what that is. Vasilin, well-dressed man, of course, but I feel he's overdoing it with these shoulder pads over there.
What about Vladimir Kramnik?
I don't know. He's supposed to be a big professional. Doesn't he know you can't wear stripes on TV? They hypnotize the audience. Go with plain shirts, Vladimir. Maybe he didn't clean his glasses when he selected that shirt this morning. He's trying to make up for it. But seriously, no. He's a professional. He's always well-dressed.
I believe the arbiter is about to approach their board and we shall see if they shake hands. Of course, there's like a 0.01% chance that they would do it. Of course, there's no handshake. Knight f3 on the board. They started the game already, just moving the pieces. And we shall bring up the board.
Yeah, Kramnik does what he tends to do nowadays. He goes knight f3, g3, and plays a slightly venomous sideline against Topalov's g3, g6. He goes c4. In this position, there's many moves. D takes c4 is my favorite. d4 also possible. Topalov goes c6, and Kramnik plays a slightly goofy-looking move, queen to a4, which does have a point, however. If you go bishop g7, cd5, cd5 would not be a legal move, and queen d5 is not very desirable. Therefore, Topalov decided to now go d4, saying the queen is not all that well placed on the a4 square. Thing with Kramnik and these sidelines is it's not like he just plays them to get a position. He's analyzed them all and knows them all very well. He does not work any less on chess than he used to. He just has tried to expand the playing field a little bit, maybe because he got bored of playing the same Catalan all the time. Topalov has gone for a maneuver. We've seen him play in slightly different positions. Knight h6 followed by knight to f5. Very logical here, supporting the d4 pawn and making it much harder for white to break in the center, because it also leaves his bishop's diagonal open. Very tense position where, I believe it's a bit easier to play white, who can just expand on the queen side, while black has to try to figure out to either get some piece play or play with his pawns in the center, but his knight on f5 is not ideal for supporting the e4 advance. So I prefer Kramnik's position, but it's mainly a matter of taste. With all this space, I don't think black is in any objective trouble.
Knight d6 is on the board and exchange on d6, e takes d6.
Change of structure. Slightly surprised Kramnik went for that so eagerly, because now his pawn on e2 becomes a bit backwards and a weakness. On the other hand, black has double pawns and he just plays queen c2 and seems to be happy with his position. Queen to c7, not the most active of moves, defending the d6 pawn. What's Kramnik doing? He went rook to e1, overprotecting the e2 pawn so he can move his queen again. I'd be eager to get him bishop f4, threatening c5, but he does not seem to like that square. Instead put it on b2. Topalov transferred his knight to the e6 square to give extra protection to his d4 pawn. White is a bit better here, even after e3, which I believe is on the board. e3 takes, rook takes.
And bishop d7 was played by Vasily and Topalov, I believe. Or the bishops are on the board, and a5. What did Kramnik play after bishop d7?
He went rook a, rook b1, a5, logical move by Topalov, trying to find some work for his a8 rook. Expect Kramnik to take on g7 sooner rather than later, and Topalov will probably recapture with a knight, inviting further exchanges. Black is very solid, white is a tad better because there's potential weaknesses around the black king. Knight could theoretically land on the f6 square, so black has to be careful, but it doesn't look like it's damage beyond repair at this point.
You see the town hall fully crowded, even on Monday when it's a work day, and we thought that the weekend we had a lot of visitors, but you can see that chess here in Belgium is so popular that people even abandon their workplaces to follow the actions here in the town hall.
Kramnik decided to go a3, not throwing in that exchange just yet. A takes b, and now he has to take because a, b, rook a2 would be extremely awkward. Therefore, a, b4, bishop takes g7, knight takes g7. Not quite sure why he went for this move order, but it doesn't really change the nature of the position very much. Small white advantage, Topalov has to defend carefully. He took on e3, and oh, that's interesting. Kramnik went fe3. Was expecting rook takes, but probably rook a1 check was something he did not really want to deal with. So fe3, changing the pawn structure. Not sure if in white's favor, because now, while it's nice to have extra pawns in the center, this is a potential weakness. Topalov targets it with queen b6, queen to b2, and rook to a4. All of a sudden, there's targets in the white position. Things have gone wrong for Vladimir Kramnik here, and he has to...
He pushes b5, but still, it feels like he's going to lose a pawn anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
he might win it back, but this position is not ideal for white anymore. It's black who has the initiative.
Yeah, there was no way to avoid that. And after b5, Topalov is thinking, I guess he's considering knight f5, because after cb, probably knight d4 is not to his liking. Even though after knight d4, you could still go knight f5. Kramnik has to be extremely careful here if it's not already too late. Yeah, I'm not sure where it went wrong. Maybe the timing, starting with this a3. Maybe he should have gone rook takes e3, nevertheless. Meet rook a1 with rook e1, when at least white shouldn't be worse.
Do you mind switching board for a moment, because it seems like Vishy Anand is being mated by Vasily So? He has sacrificed a piece and is now, well, after g4 he's winning the bishop back. But it just doesn't feel safe at all for the black king.
Not sure. Vishy went queen d6, knight e3, queen f4. Or I guess he's going to go queen f4, rook h8 first. Doesn't look too bad for black to me.
Maybe he missed something before, unless the thermometer was showing completely wrong. It was full white advantage.
Maybe it is bad, but yeah, it doesn't look that scary.
Could be that it was a position a few moves ago and not this current position.
Queen f4 is on the board. Wesley plays queen g1. Interesting move. Trying to keep the momentum going with rook to f1. It might be a very strong move. Maybe Vishy was better advised to start with rook h8 indeed, because now this rook f1 seems very, very unpleasant to meet.
What can he do against it?
I do not know that. Yeah, Vishy is clearly unhappy. Maybe after, yeah.
King g7, but rook f1 will come anyway, and the bishop will be taken.
Yeah, there was a bit of a lemon this early queen f4. He must have missed queen g1, not an obvious move at all. Now Wesley has a very pleasant choice. I'd probably go rook f5, just hitting the g5 pawn. But g f5 followed by knight g4 also looks very tempting. And he goes knight f5,
Knight
the
takes.
third option. Should have mentioned all three. Which is also nice. Knight f5 is forced. Then he's going to go rook f5 and follow up with queen e3, give him a chance.
h8, offering the g5 pawn.
Yeah, take it.
I think the main problem of Vishy's position is that he has this bishop on a7, which is like as if it did not exist at all. It's not helping black's king.
Yeah, he needs to tempt to give it something to do, but it doesn't feel like this bishop is gonna get his 15 minutes of fame in this game. Rook h5, Wesley decides to simplify, neutralize the threats here. He can't count, but I guess he's like 2 pawns up, which should normally be enough, even though I'm sure Vichy's gonna put up a fight. Goes c5, freeing this bishop. And all of a sudden, yeah, things aren't so easy anymore. Rook h5 strikes me as the wrong decision. Because now, yeah, there's counterplay in the center. Wesley goes dc5, but with his bishop coming back to life, the e-pawn still being a force, you have to be very fast making something happen on the king side, or the black counterplay will become extremely serious. Queen f5, what can you do? Can you go queen f6? Not sure.
And if queen
d5,
takes, queen f2.
Now Vichy's done something else. What has he done?
Bishop e3 protecting the g5 square, so there are no checks. Queen g4 would be, but queen g5 was more annoying to him, so he decided to prevent it, because if queen g5 later, maybe white could push h6.
Seems a little slow though, g4. I think you have to offer an exchange of queens. Yeah, he does queen f4 and try to hold this endgame. I don't believe that white can do without exchanging queens. Black counterplay is too fast. And here takes. And g2.
This might be dangerous still with h4, g5 coming.
For sure. Wesley goes bishop to d1, tending to go bishop b3, targeting the d5 pawn. Might still be winning for Wesley So, who's had an excellent event. He's probably not going to win it, but he's played very, very solid chess. Lost.
Bishop c1 challenging the white pawns, I believe was the move, and then bishop b3, e3. Pawns are being exchanged. B2 and the c3 pawn are off of the board, just like several black pawns. The question is what remains on the board.
Yeah, it should be winning for white. Oh, we allowed bishop f6, but
Bishop looks at Wesley like, whoa, you missed this.
Yeah, now it's no longer so easy, because king g3, bishop e5, and it seems like wherever you go, the bishop goes here, stopping you from going h4, and it's a draw.
And the draw,
Oh, there was, yeah.
Yeah, once Bishop gives the look, I think you should just offer a draw directly.
Not sure if it was winning. Maybe black was in time, because after h4 you go bishop e1, and you're not in time to go g5 check, so Vichy with a good escape there. Let's go back to Kramnik Topalov, where what has happened? Kramnik managed to maintain the material balance. It's a little worse positionally in this endgame. Black rook is very active. Black knight has decent destinations. f5 is in the air. But Kramnik is hanging in there, and now after king f7, if he so chose, he could simplify by takes and knight d4 check. That's what he does. King d6.
And we are not seeing another rook endgame.
Are they repeating moves?
It seems.
Not sure. In general, those two.
Magnus Carlsen wouldn't stand in front of the camera, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been said to go away, ever been told to go away from a camera though, so we can't blame him. His sponsors demand that they get at least 5 minutes of airtime per round. Now that we're not covering him, he comes to us. Veselin is, I don't know what he's thinking about.
This is a better angle because we can see the floral prints on Veselin's back.
Yeah, not quite sure who's playing for win here. Probably both. They really do enjoy beating each other, but Veselin's pieces are more active. So it should be black who's pushing here. Kramnik sends his knight on a little fishing trip, it looks like. Do you go knight to f8? Would make sense, at least, going after the h7 pawn. Veselin does not care.
Pushing his pass pawn, who will be faster. White is grabbing pawns on the king side, and black is pushing his pass pawn. King e4, very active black king, we shall say.
Yeah, Kramnik managed to simplify the position, but he still has to deal with his passed b pawn, and he's trying to create counterplay by going h4, g4, h5, creating his own passed pawn. He has to be careful not to get mated during these activities, though. King on f3 could be very bad news, potentially. And we see Kramnik worried there after the king arrives on f3, knight c3, rook g2 check, I would guess. Oh no, Western just went rook c2. Could also be a good move, but I don't understand why he didn't give the check, because now rook c2, knight b5. It's not clear if there's a win.
He's slightly surprised he might have missed something, not that the move knight b5. He didn't calculate, but maybe he missed something later in his calculation in this position after king takes g3.
Still unpleasant for white, of course. You can't really remove this rook because you're back rank mated. You always have to worry about rook g2, the bishop coming back to c6. But with only one pawn each remaining, Vladimir Kramnik should have decent drawing chances here. What has he done? He's played king f1, rook h2, rook b4, bishop to d1 if I'm not mistaken. Vasily.
And king e1 challenging the bishop, bishop g4 was that?
Yeah, he's working on a mating net, some rook e2 check, and he's managed to pick up the h-pawn in the meantime.
The knight is heading towards the king, but it might be late. No, he has taken the pawn, and now this is rook and bishop against rook.
No, it's rook and pawn against rook with the g-pawn.
I thought it was a bishop, I can't see the board.
And it
I'm
seems
sorry,
like
I wanted to
Kramnik
see rook and
managed to
bishop
survive.
against rook. I was too happy about it.
Yeah, this should now be a draw. And Kramnik, of course, is good at these rook endgames, but I would very easily manage to lose this. Rook f3 check, still in the air, followed by king g3, so you have to be extremely precise. And maybe he's just winning, maybe it wasn't a draw.
This seems to be a win for Vasily
Yeah, now
Topalov.
the king is cut off, and this is a textbook win, where normally I believe they would resign, but playing each other, they're not going to resign easily. Topalov is demonstrating us how to build a bridge, or he's trying to.
But he
Hang on.
He
I might
should
be an
have cut
idiot.
the king.
What is going on here?
with one more file. So he started building the bridge with the king too close. Now
But
it's
he
over.
finally managed, and Kramnik resigns not by shaking hands, but by making a hand gesture that signifies the game is over, because Topalov finally found a good construction, and after rook g2, you win the rook by going rook f8, king g3, rook g8, and then pick it up. So, yeah, nice win for Vasily Topalov to stop the bleeding there. The first loss for Vladimir Kramnik for a while. He won't be thrilled with that one, of course.
Especially against his friend Vasily.
See what happened in the other games. Fabiano Caruana defeated Levon Aronian, which is bad news for Levon's chances.
Yeah, let's see
for
the
top
game.
prizes.
We shall go through the game of Fabiano Caruana against Levon Aronian, and also the game between Vachier and Carlsen. Carlsen has just won again.
Yeah, all of this pretty standard stuff for this position, but something seems to have gone wrong for Levon here. Knight e5, f takes e, and he didn't recapture because he realized that knight f4 is very awkward to meet, not only targeting the e6 pawn, but also threatening bishop takes e5, followed by knight g6, winning an exchange. And he did not make a comeback from that. Fabiano built a big initiative.
The king on e6, it does look horrible.
Sacrifice an exchange. And convert it with bishop e5, rook takes e5, queen h8. I have no idea if that narrative is correct. Like the initiative might have changed here every move, but I'll stick with it. Fabiano gets the last laugh by queening his g-pawn.
And the game Vachier-Carlsen, which also ended in a decisive result. Magnus Carlsen now increased his lead with yet another point. He's on 20.5, so 3 points between him and Vesti. So
Let's see what happened. Bit of a slow setup by Carlsen. It's supposed to be slightly worse for black, but he does avoid theoretical debate and gets a maneuvering game against MVL, maybe judging that these slow maneuvers he might be able to outclass the French number one. I'm not sure if he outclassed him, but it certainly looks like Carlsen got the better of it here with his pawns in the center. Clean victory, which he capped off by a cute little rook sacrifice. The point is, after rook takes b6, e2, this pawn is queening, or at least winning the white queen. So MVL resigned. Rook b7 would be nice, but e takes f1, checkmate is a pretty good answer. Yeah, Magnus Carlsen did come with a head of steam today and he seems to be eager to secure victory very, very quickly. He's now 3 points ahead with 5 rounds to go, I believe. So
that seems to be an easy victory for Magnus Carlsen, but let's not forget that it's Blitz, 5 minutes plus 2 second increment. Anything can happen, but if everything goes normal, Magnus Carlsen shall be the winner. The question is who will be second, third, and the rest of the spots, because it's a huge prize fund, and also they are collecting points for the entire Grand Chess Tour, so it does matter if they finish second or sixth, fourth, all the positions are important here, even the last place.
yeah, only 1 point between Wesley So and Vishy Anand. These 3 can certainly still change positions. It's unlikely that Fabiano Caruana or MVL after this loss will manage to enter that discussion. We'll find out in the next round where we have Carlsen Kramnik, interesting. Anand MVL, also interesting. All the games are interesting, so I should stop saying that. Aronian against Giri, Nakamura against Wesley So. That's a big game for Wesley So with the black pieces against his compatriot, who's supposed to be a superior Blitz player, but Wesley is questioning, well, that status, at least during this event where he's done exceptionally well in Blitz.
I think I will take these 10 minutes to interview our dear audience, if I can talk to them for a moment, so I will take this microphone off. Am I on? Can I ask you a few questions?
Yes, sure.
Is it your first day here in Leuven?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do you live here or you traveled here to see the chess event?
Traveled here especially to get here. And yeah.
Where are you from?
Holland.
Holland, so you traveled all the way from Holland to see the event.
Yeah, it's not that far, of course, but yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's amazing. Who's your favorite player? How do you like the way they play in Blitz?
Okay, my favorite. Of course, I'm supporting Anish Giri, but I haven't seen all the games. This is the first time I really watched the games, and up to now, I don't have a few favorites. But Anish Giri is not the most attractive player to watch, but I guess Carlsen played very well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, Carlsen is leading the tournament, and unfortunately, Anish Giri is not doing very well in this event, but he does very well in other tournaments.
Yeah, that's right. So, no problem.
Thank you. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yes, okay. Yeah.
What's your name?
Alan.
Alan. When did you learn to play chess?
Oh, when I was 18 or something.
18. What do you like about chess?
I like to sit and think.
To sit and think, so you like strategic games.
Yes, yes. But I'm not a very good player. I'm just an ordinary club player.
What time control do you like the most?
I like ordinary long games the most, but I play Blitz and everything.
That's very nice. Who's your favorite player?
I like Hanan, but I like to support the best, the better, so I have better chance to to be happy. So I like Carlsen too.
And of course, I always ask if you are here from here, Leuven, or you also traveled here to see the event.
I'm from Brussels.
From Brussels. Thank you.
Welcome.
Excuse me, can I ask you a few questions?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Your name?
Bart.
When did you learn to play chess?
I'm sorry?
When did you learn to play chess?
When I was 18, I think I tried for the first time to move some pieces.
What is it that you like about the game of chess?
Well, that's, I don't know, it's just classical, it's kind of nonsense, which is very nice. I mean, yeah, it's an occupation that is not worth to be to do it, but yeah, anyway, it's kind of stimulating. It's yeah.
How is it to see the world's best players fighting here in Leuven?
Quite impressive, I must say.
Are you from here?
I'm a local, yes.
Then it's even nicer that your town is organizing one of the strongest events of the year.
It's really amazing, that's true.
We are impressed by the town hall because this building is just amazing, a 3-story, 15th century building. So I'm really impressed that the tournament is not just held in Leuven, but also in such a landmark building that is the town hall.
Yeah, it suits. It suits the chess and the town hall is a very good combination.
Thank you. And you are? Your name is?
Victor Juden.
Victor, nice to meet you, Victor. When did you learn to play chess?
When I was 10 years old, yeah. It was actually in the Soviet Union.
You learned in the Soviet Union, so you play like a Russian.
I am half Russian.
You're half Russian, that helps. So you're supporting Vladimir Kramnik?
Yes, and not only him, also Anish and also Levon Aranyan, they are all Russian speakers.
Everybody who speaks Russian, then they are your favorites.
Yeah, from the Soviet Union.
That's understandable. What do you think about this time control as to see it, and what do you like when you play chess?
Well, this time control the most spectacular. It's just easy to watch, even if you don't understand much. It's a great event, but of course the level of the game goes down a little bit, but not for those guys. I mean, any one of those will destroy me with Blitz if I had all time of the world. Yeah.
And when you play, do you prefer playing classical games, or you also like playing Blitz or rapid chess?
I like all three of them. This is all wonderful.
Do you like playing tournaments, or you play online with friends in a club?
I used to play in the tournaments all over the world as well. I was not that bad, well, not as good as those guys, but just I was playing. And I also play on online and all three types of them. Just I love chess. Yeah.
Thank you for your answers and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you for the questions.